Hi, welcome to the Nordic Building Automation Roundtable. Today we have the pleasure of talking to experts from Finland and Norway, our Autobolic and Thermalogic, to discuss the challenges of modern building automation. In this, we will dive into exciting projects and give you valuable insight into the latest development and technologies. Building automation is an important area that plays an increasingly important role in optimizing operation cost, improving energy efficiency, and creating more comfortable working and living environments. We, Luxon, are excited to share our knowledge and experience with you and look forward for a stimulating discussion. Why wait? Let's get started. Welcome, Henning and Antti. Welcome all of you who are joining us today for a very special webinar with our partners in Nordic countries. Okay, here we will talk about mostly what is Luxon and who are these people who are working with Luxon, why they are working with Luxon, and what does Luxon do to change the world. So let's get started. So I will introduce the guest at the moment. So our guest is the CEO of our Luxon Platinum Partner Autobolic AS, Henning. You can say hi to our panelists.
Hello.
And we have Antti, who was working with Sweco, and now he's a founder of Thermalogic. He founded his company and now is a Luxon partner in Finland. So Antti, you can say hi to our guests.
Yes. Hello. Moi.
And me personally is joining from Luxon itself. I am the business development manager for the team, and we are responsible for subsidiaries and markets where we don't have local presence, and we are trying to change the world and try to reach companies like you. So what is Luxon all about? What is our mission? Our mission is to solve problems that exist in your home, your hotels, your buildings, any type of infrastructure that you currently live in. From moving to a conventional solution to providing your energy efficient, smooth, and fast operative smart solutions. That is our main mission. We have been living this since 13 years. So for me personally, it is a new normal. Maybe you will see the magic in a few minutes explained by our partners. And we are the company who were founded in 2009. And we are having globally around 25,000 partners. 2 of them are representing from your region today, and we'll discuss about it. And we have already finished more than 250,000 projects. We are a team of 600 people, so we are a big international company. And we have nearly around 20 to 27 locations presently and still growing. So maybe next is your country, we will have a local presence. This beautiful thing is our headquarters, recently inaugurated in Kollerschlag, Austria, which is next to German border and Austrian border. So this alone is the living example of how big the Luxon solution can go up when we talk about smart homes, when we talk about buildings, when we talk about hotels, anything. This one building consists of hotels that is operating 80 rooms. This one building consists of offices that are able to employ 1,000 people. And you can see swimming pool and thermal situation. So running on really entire system on Luxon. How? We will talk about it too. So Henning, my first question to you and Antti will be, what is building automation in Nordic region, Henning?
Yes, that's quite a good question, I think. If we directly translate the term building automation, then most people will think of the mysterious thing that turns off the ventilation at their workplace at 4 o'clock, just something out there. You can also interpret the phrase building automation into smart homes, then it's a quite different story. For me, the word building automation is for commercial buildings. That's my interpretation of the term. But for smart homes, I think, at least here in Norway, most people has some relationship to the term smart home, because we can almost buy smart home equipment at the grocery store these days. So what is building automation in the Nordic region? I think it's 2 things: smart homes and commercial buildings and the automation there.
Thank you, Henrik. And Antti, your opinion on building automation, is it different in Finland compared to Norway, or?
I think it's quite the same. Actually, I usually categorize it in 3 versions. One being the building automation for larger buildings, and perhaps home automation as a smart homes, and also a home automation for the devices you can buy from local supermarket, and program them doing some nice things. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the current state of building automation in Nordic countries? So by this, I mean that where is the progress you see it? How much people are aware about it? Because we are recently surviving a crisis, as you all know. So how this is impacting your countries and especially your specific regions? Henning, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I can go ahead. All right. I think we run Roundtable now, the company I'm the CEO of, for 8 years. And during those 8 years, a lot has happened, both in the understanding in the market, the penetration in the market, especially the domestic market, maybe, but also for commercial buildings. I used to joke about and say Putin has sold a lot of smart homes lately, but that's a tragedy altogether. But however, we have an energy crisis affecting all of Europe, as everyone knows. Yes. And lately, the last year or so, there has been much more focus on what a smart home and also building automation in commercial buildings can do for you, especially tied together with the energy crisis, and energy management is a really important part of it nowadays.
Okay. And Antti, in Finland, nearly the same, or?
Yeah, that's the case. We see the increase of material costs. Key numbers we are following is the number of building permits applied, and we see that especially in a apartment house business, we see it the projects not being started as large numbers than last year.
Just to know a bit more from the end customer to also the business point of view, what are the current percentage inflation? How is it like? Is there any currently solution? Because in your projects, of course, you are offering Luxon, but before, what was the state?
The last year or so, we had this energy crisis, and of course the COVID and everything before, and there was problems with building costs and everything. But before that, our focus was on we saw that the market out there was quite divided. You had some systems that are quite good for one application and so on, but our mission was to pull everything together and to provide a really great living experience, both in terms of security, comfort, and energy management. Even then, because we have always been into the energy management thing, but now it's much more important thing of our marketing.
Cool. Okay, let's look what we have. How do you see this guy's figure? So Henning, you have here top 5 European countries with the most developed smart home market, and Norway is there with one of the highest after Germany, so 26.3. How does this number look when it's about your business too, from the business perspective?
I'm not surprised because in Norway, I think we have always been early adopters for new technology. Just look at the cell phone network in Norway was always early on with new technology, 4G, 3G, 5G, and so on. And if you look at the EV market, where I think 80% or something of newly sold cars are EVs these days in Norway, but also with smart homes. Nowadays, you basically cannot buy any new appliances. That's probably in all of Europe, but I think in Norway here, everyone is open for it. You can buy appliances. Oh, cool! I want an app. If you buy a burglar system from security company, all right, I want a digital door lock as well, and in addition, and I can pull it into the app, and so on. So I think in some level, a lot of people are open to and have some kind of smart home installation, and that that's my experience. So that we have a quite high penetration in the market. I'm familiar with it. Yes.
So Antti, similar question to you, because you founded the company Thermalogic and you became a Luxon partner. Was the market a driving strategy when you opened the company and you became a Luxon partner? Because always, if there is a demand, there is a need. So what was your idea behind when you became a Luxon partner, or before even?
Yeah, well, I've been a Luxon homeowner for almost 9 years or so. So I know the system very well, and I know the potential of it. I see there's a huge potential in the Finnish market, but the main challenge is that home automation is still considered very expensive to install, and there's a challenge for me and all the other companies also to ensure the clients that it's actually not so expensive, and also the energy saving point is a huge selling point.
Yeah, because I see also Denmark here. So if we have any guest who will join us later or see this recording, please hear our partners, because you have a big growing market at 18.4%, and this will only grow. So I have a statistics. We did some research, and in global building automation, we figured out that according to Grandview Research, we have a market size of 96.82 billion by 2028. And alone in Nordic region, that means if we look at Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark, it's 3.18 billion by 2027. How do you look at this market research, guys?
I think there's a 50% increase in 4 years, sorry. And that is an explosive growth, and it has been for several years, is my experience. A bit later, I will show you a few examples of it. But yes, this is backed up by my experience, and the penetration in the market is just rocketing day by day.
Because then it marks our next sentence that we made up, because the smart home and building automation market for all the countries in Scandinavia area is going to experience a progressive increase in the coming years. How do you see, Henrik? Because this was mostly your brain in this. So how do you see this sentence?
For me, it gives perfect sense. When I see the trends in the culture, and not at least with the energy crisis, everyone is talking about and calling us down with questions about how can we save energy. We have this hourly based energy prices mandatory for everyone in Norway, and all of those things, and the acceptance for new technology. Our cars is high tech on wheels these days. So this is just, I'm sure about it, and this makes perfect sense for me, and I also experience it day by day.
And Antti, you founded the company, so you have been living this system for about 9 years, as you mentioned, and you are seeing the progress in Finland too.
Yeah, I am, and especially in a larger projects while working with Sweco. We saw it, and I've seen it for a few years now, and I agree with what Henning said. Yes.
Henning, what are the different markets in this section that are divided according to you? What is all about automation? Because this is a misconception, as Henning mentioned. It's all about how expensive it is considered, and some smart automation is all about just controlling few things. It's not really an automation. So how do you see the segments when you talk to your partners, customers?
I think this is some of the basis of, maybe call it the bad reputation smart homes has in our market, at least. As you say, we can divide it into different segments. For example, comfort and lighting is quite common. Control and connectivity. A lot of people consider they have a smart home, even if they just have a remote control in their app for the lamp in the ceiling. Smart appliances is, if you buy mid-range appliances these days, they are smart, getting along, but still always separate systems. Security is a big thing in Norway. Not that we have that much criminality, but we have security companies that provide a lightweight smart home solution with access control and so on. So and fire alarms as well. So a lot of people is buying that, and that's kind of a smart home. Energy management, of course, as you can imagine, EV chargers are a big thing here. We also have a few Norwegian producers as well, which bring forward apps, energy management control, and so on. So even the EV charger standalone can be looked at as a smart home thing. And of course, home entertainment, Google Home and Apple TV and so on is pretty common. Almost everyone has it. Even my parents using Chromecast for looking at TV.
Okay. Henrik, in your segment, these are divided in these categories when you talk to your people, or?
No, not at all.
Okay.
We are communicating. Of course, we get into these topics further down discussions, but we are talking about creating homes that are easy to live in. Making more energy and time to live your life and the things you care about, your children, your parents, your friends, walking in nature, whatever you like to do. We are going to create a home that gives you the opportunity to do that. And for that, we're saying you need a home that's comfortable, that's secure, and that's energy smart. We're focusing on those three elements and bake all of these different topics, the segments into those concepts.
And Antti, is when you deal with such kind of divided segments in your market, how is it looking in Finland?
Yeah, I think the most important parts are the comfort and lighting and security. And of course, now during the crisis is of course the energy management. But also, as we are a cellular phone nation, we like to control and connect everything remotely. So that's one huge point also.
That's good. So key market players. Let's talk about the players who are in your country. Players, maybe some of them could have joined this, some of them will view this. How do you see the key market players in the professional systems that offered in the smart home building automation sector? And where do you see yourself with Luxon?
For my part, I think in the market, one thing is the professional systems. We also see a lot of do-it-yourself solutions and lightweight solutions from IKEA, Philips Hue, and so on. And in the professional segments, that's dominated by electricians here in Norway for smart homes, at least. And electricians often go to lightweight lighting control, for example, as an isolated function, or maybe lighting, heating, and shading in more complex but still quite simplistic, the simplistic way. And of course, you have heavier systems that some people buy, like KNX systems and so on. And of course, you have Luxon, which are our preferred card for technology, which combines everything to give you this easy access to all functions you want.
And Antti, in your market, you have also Schneider Electric, which is also a big player in the key markets, along with all the mentioned. How do you see this competition, or let's say when companies approach or choose the solution in a way, or to grow your business between these solutions?
Yeah, I see there's a tough competition. And Luxon is not so well-known brand in Finland at the moment, and that's a first challenge, of course. But yeah, especially in larger projects, there's a huge competition, price-wise and technology ways.
We like the challenge, so we are always loving challenges, and we try to solve it. So this also won't be too long. I can promise that, as we have companies like you, so we will make a huge impact together. And Henrik, you have these type of solutions, and what do you comes to the mind when you think about conventional solutions?
The founding of
comes-
Autobolig. The founding of Autobolig and the big panels on the living room wall with the dimmers and switches and thermostats and blind controls and everything. This is what I see when you have this picture up. When I say founding of Autobolig, I was one of the founders as well. One of the things we had in our hearts that we wanted to go out there with was one home and one system. Right, and not all of these island solutions. You have good systems for lighting, good systems for shading, and so on, but this is not real smart. This was kind of our heartfelt message.
And it's very
back then.
expensive, I believe, because
Yeah.
it's creating too much confusion. There is no flexibility, and you have ton number of apps, ton number of modern equipments, as they say.
Exact. What if your car was like this conventional solution here? You have one app to start the heater. You need to open another app to unlock the doors. Then a third key to start a car. And if you have the internet, it's just absurd.
Yeah,
but
I believe there are companies who have been solving big projects with these type of customized solutions. And they should hear this about how an actual modern solution look like. And we are very proud to say when we talk about our solution, or let's say when we deal with Henning, better than me, you have worked with our solution more than 10 years. So you can talk about Luxon more than me.
We always said in Autobolig, one house, one system. And that's all that makes sense. And I often describe it with an example. Let's say a lot of people has burglar alarm and so on, right? As I told you, with the fire alarm and the access control. And I said in Smarter from Luxon, if the burglar alarm goes away, what will happen? Of course, there will be a siren. But also all the shades are going up to make everything transparent. All the lighting is starting to flash. All of the speakers in the whole house is starting to yell. And of course, you have the siren, and you have the possibility to connect Luxon to a security company as well. So that's just an example of how everything works together to create synergies between the technical systems. And this is really, really important. And of course, everything is within one app, one fantastically built switch, which can operate everything you need every day without having to pull up your phone. So everything is tied together. You integrate in a almost indefinite range of integrations to other third-party systems, for example, the ventilation and the heat pump and so on, and everything is connected into one system, one house. That's a really important thing for us in Autobolig to be able to provide. And there's Luxon is a no-brainer there to use Luxon because everything is connected together.
Yeah, Antti, as you were saying that you are living in the house, so I will see you also as an end customer and a partner both. So you are living in a house, of course, which is completely operational by Luxon. How is it? What changed for you in these 9 years?
What changed? Well, it was pretty clear when I started our family house project that I need some brains installed. I don't want separate systems running in the house and so on. And first thing I thought was to use KNX, but it's not really programmable and expensive. And then I found Luxon, which is nicely tying everything together. So life is much easier, I would say. I can integrate some KNX products if I want, and so on.
This could be a good message because you mentioned KNX is expensive. I deal with all the regions where we don't have subsidiaries, but maybe if KNX is expensive in Finland, what about Africa? What about Middle East? So if you watch this, if you have a reach where you are from outside Europe, you can just listen to our partners. So KNX is expensive in Europe. That's not a surprise. So I was talking about expenses and you mentioned it right away. And what, Henrik, when you offer the customer maybe some projects you might have to be flexible, how do you deal with the pricing when you talk about modern solutions and Luxon?
That's a great question. Usually we divide it in three call it baselines, or three different levels of automation. We have this baseline, which takes care of the basic things like lighting and heating, and maybe a little bit of energy control, car charging, and so on. And then we have a medium-sized solution, which includes more automation, access control, and so on. And we have a premium one, which is with audio and everything. And that way we create a range, and we compare it then with all the functions you get. There's a lot of functions.
That pretty much gives the partner or the end customer or the investor the flexibility to choose, to add, to subtract. So that's a really good way, I would say. We have also achieved this. And when we talk about the opportunities in your country, why Luxon? We were all the way talking about what is your business, how you came up with this, how you got transferred, but actually why Luxon? Why you would always suggest or add Luxon in your projects?
Yes, for my part, I think a big part of being a successful business, you need oftentimes to ask the question, if we hadn't been into Luxon, would it go into it now? And we ask that questions every year. And still to this day, Luxon is a no-brainer. We only use Luxon for our projects. We only do smart homes and building automation, and we always do Luxon as a base. And that's based on all the opportunities, the flexibility, and the efficiency, with both the programming, the planning, and the installations that comes with Luxon. Is good money there because we can do everything so efficient, and the solutions in the other end is so incredibly good. The functionality and back to one system, everything is so intuitive, it's tied together, and the end product is really, really good.
And Antti, why? Because of course you have always said you are living in that system, but why you would push this system to maybe bigger projects, maybe, I don't know, hotels, maybe communicating 5 buildings together, or maybe row houses, 200 row houses together? Why would you always say Luxon, or why would you use this?
Well, I have not much to add what Henning said, but yeah, it's got, first of all, it's very flexible and cost effective, really programmable, which is a huge point for me. Yeah, and good quality. I've seen it myself for 9 years. A lot of new products coming up constantly. I can't remember how many new features and products came out last year with Luxon, but there were many. So it's
we are talking a lot
impressive
about products and everything. Our guest might be getting curious about what are they actually even capable to do. So let's talk about a bit about our features. What is Luxon able to do? From my point, I will say everything, but our partners are doing projects and they are actually programming these and installing these kind of features. So Henning, you can go ahead.
I can back you up on everything is the right answer, but we need to get to the ground again as well. A big thing is that you can integrate everything with different protocols and so on. Then you can basically do everything. But for my part, energy management, lighting and heating and access control is the things we are focusing the most on in our markets. Energy, of course, is more and more in the focus, but we usually start out with lighting control and heating control. It's cold in the Nordics, so we always have heating. Not so many has cooling, but of course we can integrate that as well.
You have natural coolers, so
yeah.
Antti, you have something similar?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Maybe the climate is a bit different between Norway and Finland. We have a proper summer also, so cooling is actually a big point.
How do you
also.
see, because in Finland and Norway, you have in between Sweden. So should I assume Sweden is facing the same problem like Finland, and Denmark is also neighborhood of Sweden? So Denmark, Iceland, Sweden, they are all nearly facing the same problem like you are, I would assume, or?
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Because the economy is nearly the same, the mentality is nearly the same, the climate is the same. So, okay, yeah, cool. So let's talk about finally the brain of the Luxon system. So Henning, you can introduce our brain.
What an honor. I have a huge respect for this green little box. Yes, I think we can call this the three brothers or sisters, or what you want. But to my, this is it's three variants of the Miniserver, which is in the center of everything in the Luxon installation. To my knowledge, the processing capacity and the memory capacity on all three are the same, but they have different properties or specifications regarding inputs and outputs and so on. You have the Miniserver at the bottom, and the Miniserver compacts are both meant for DIN rail mounting within the fuse box or something. And you have the Miniserver Go up on the left, which is a USB powered wireless version of the Miniserver. My favorite, the compact. It's a really great specifications on that one, and it's really, yeah, usable in most cases.
So you have this install anti in your whole house, I believe. So you might have the Miniserver generation 1.
Yes, you're right. I have.
Yeah.
And
so,
the compact is a very, very nice product. Still haven't had the chance to put my hands on it, but I will soon.
Yeah. We will not go too much into techniques because I will offer you the opportunity to talk with our technical experts. So where do you all see this big thing where you're talking about programming, but it more looks graphical? This is the Luxon Config, just to show you in a picture. Henning, what can you explain in few sentences about config or programming? How is the word programming in Luxon world?
It's configuration, not programming.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I think the Luxon Config is our most important tool, and basically the tool that makes us making money, because it's so incredibly efficient. It's truly and freely programmable or configurable, so we can make every function we would dream of. But the most important things is that Luxon has already predefined a lot of smart functions that are really, really easy to program and use within the config. And you have a full overview over the whole system, and it's easy to create a system that's are tied together within one experience.
Yeah. And also within the config, you have additional tools that makes ease of business, which is like planning tool, auto configurator, because at the end of the day, labor is money. So businesses in Europe are having high labor, and that is, we give the potential for the companies to make your money in that sense too. So moving on to the next one, this beautiful thing, the whole in all, what the end customer always look forward for, and they always talk about it, the Luxon app. So Henning, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a really fan of the app. The app is it's tidy and it's clean. It's nice to look at, and you have all the functions right. This is basically the face of your house towards the customer, the interface where they can control and get the overview. And it's a great addition to the touch switch, which you're using most of the time. But the app will be accessible on the run, on when you're home, of course, and give you a nice overview.
Yeah, Antti, you have, how do you see this in your daily life? How is it? because we talk about automation, but we give also the possibility to control everything for the end customer, for the partners. And yeah.
Yeah, it's very clever. And my hardest critic is my own wife, of course. And
Oh yes.
well, if she likes it and it's easy for her to use, it's great one.
That's great. That's great. At the end of the day, boss is boss.
Yes,
So
that's it.
the main topic that we were talking about a lot is the energy focus in your area, and how Henning, or let's say Antti, you also know when this inflation started and where was the demand of things. Henning, how did you see the development inside Luxon? Because you have now tools which are amazing to program from the energy point. I will share one of the tool here. It's how it's looking in the app, the energy management. Henning?
I think Luxon responded perfectly on the new demands on the market with the war in Ukraine and everything. We have always had the opportunity to create great energy management solutions within Luxon because it's freely programmable. We can build logic and so on. But with the 13.1, the current Luxon config, we got a lot of new predefined function blocks. For example, we have talked with Luxon for some time about the hourly energy prices we have in Norway. And with 13.1, Luxon came up with a predefined energy management block, which can look into the hourly energy prices and do automation based on that. So there's a lot of great function blocks within the config tool that we can use that are predefined with great logic and great functionality, and not at least you give it a great looking face so the customer gets the overview in a really nice looking way and get motivated to save energy and have the full overview.
Yeah, definitely. And how was the development phase from Luxon? Because we made it possible to introduce such solutions within few months of the demand that rises. So we as a company are also, speed is our strength. You can define that with this sort of solutions. And yeah.
And one of the great things I have to mention is that even though within the first customers we ever had, they has access to the new functions with software upgrades in their existing hardwares. Yeah,
that is a very good point. That even, for example, we can take also Antti's example. Antti, when we talk about Miniserver Gen 1, we are pretty much not hardware focused. Your Miniserver Gen 1 is still running on the latest update from Luxon.
Yes,
and
it's great.
It is even the first installation that we did back 10 years, 13 years, that is still running on our system. So that is the power of Luxon. So it is not like an iPhone or an Android which gets updated and which gets outdated. It will stay. You can offer it with confidence.
Yes, that's right.
So now time for some examples. Henning, you have few projects to show us. And let's look at a few of your projects. What is this one?
Yes, this is a house within the city we are running from. We are basically delivering to the whole of Norway, but this is in our own city. This is one of many examples for single homes. We are doing a lot of single homes. I don't have the numbers, but many single homes we do. But this is a great example because this is a full installation. Of course, it's a high-end house. It's a great looking house. But this is a full installation. We are using Luxon components for everything, including the light fixings. What's it called that? The lights, lamps, and so on. We control the heating, the ventilation. Here is also cooling, shading, of course, access and security, water leak alarm, burglar alarm, fire alarm, everything. And of course, audio multimedia, car charging, garage port openers, everything is here. And everything is done with Luxon 3 technology for the most part. And of course, integrations, the third part of things like the ventilation and the heat pump and so on.
And when you talk about projects with confidence, when we say projects with confidence, how do you see the after-sales support from Luxon? Because we have a dedicated team which is working with our partners to ensure that these kind of projects are done and accurately, and the end customer or the investor comes back to you so that your business grows. How seriously is Luxon taking this kind of projects or your partnership when offering you the support in this case?
Very. Luxon has always met us with the respect for our customer, and they are helping us in every way they can to make us successful. Because if we are successful, everyone is successful, and the customer is happy.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my experience for many years.
This looks also very beautiful. Here you did.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a big project. This is 60 apartments, 5 buildings. So
exactly. Exactly. And I took this as an example because it's a little bit different. It's still homes, but it's a little bit different because the way in was pretty much pretty different. Because here we are talking to the investor, which is going to develop this project. Because this is all the apartments are sold afterwards to separate families. There's no rentals. So we are talking to the developer or the investor for the project and tell them all the upsides to bring along a baseline package with Luxon installations in every single apartment. Really, really cost efficient because we have the heat control and everything basically put into the Miniserver, and we have the lighting control as well. That is a baseline. And on top of that, of course, every single family which is buying these apartments before the building is finished can buy a lot of options for shading, automation, more lighting, burglar alarm security, access, and so on. So the investor here, we talk with the investor first. They saw the value, so that this is nice apartments. We need this kind of systems to raise the value of the apartments even more. And then, okay, we want this in all of the apartments. Then Luxon and Roundtable went as a part of the specification, and then the contractor basically put Luxon in.
Yeah. So it was because normally these kind of projects have multiple competitors, and Luxon supported you to the end, and finally we won. You did hit. So great. This is actually one of the biggest achievements, I think, from your company. Yeah,
we have a few more as well. I think this one is the most complex we have done so far. This is a 9,500 square meters office building.
So we are already talking about smart home, we are talking about buildings, and now we are already switching to office commercial section. Okay.
Yeah. And I chose those 3 to basically show the scalability and the span of what Luxon can do. But this is a large office building with several companies within it. It's a large building cost. It's a great looking building as well. Still a little messy in the picture. But here we do basically every single bit of automation in this building. Energy management, all the lighting, all the shading, indoor climate. And on top of that, we also get rid of the need for an additional top system. If you push one next, Jerin, you can look.
Yeah.
Here we look. We have this schematic views within the Luxon. So there's no need for an additional top system. We can put together everything to get the operation guys having the full overview over the facilities, both the technical thing like the ventilation up left here, and also to look at the rooms. What is the status of the shading? What is the status of the temperature, and so on.
That is a very cool feature from Luxon.
Yeah, it is.
And there are a few of your projects.
Yeah, just some more apartment buildings. We are doing a football stadium, the biggest stadium in Norway, actually, Ullevål, if someone has heard of it. And speaking of Luxon support, the picture down to the right there is not realized yet, but we're working on the specifications these days. It's 800 student homes based upon 5 buildings, I think. We have had a close discussion and get a lot of support and help from Luxon to find the most efficient way to install and get automation into that building. With the new Luxon Pure Flex, we reduced the number of every installation point in each apartment there. It's 800 of them. And if you save 70 to 100 euros for each installation point, and we can say, all right, we're installing only one installation point to control the whole apartment within the flex.
Yeah.
Then the builder saves a lot of money, and Luxon is going in there as well.
So viewers, participants, companies, investors, you can see the scale of projects. It is just not limited. We started the first reference from Henning about a big luxury home, and then it went to 800 student homes. So
Exactly.
you can trust our solution in this sense because our partners are already doing it. So it's not something we just talk about. We have done it, we can do it, and we will continue to do it. So yes, Henning, this one.
Yeah, this is close to my heart as well, because Norgeshus is one of the largest housing manufacturers in Norway, building a lot of single homes, small apartment buildings with 4 to 10 apartments within a building and so on. They have gone into now cooperation with us, and a solution from Luxon via us, Autobolig, is specified as a standard in all of their houses and holiday homes. And this is, for me, a sign of where the market is heading. Yeah. Because they see we need technology to get greener, to get more modern, to get remote control and all of the things that's important in a home. And in this standard, there's a baseline installation with the lighting and heating. And we also have energy management, which is a spot price optimizer for the underfloor heating and for the boiler and so on, as a standard into all of their homes. And there's a lot of them. And of course, this is single families often buying a house. They have a range of options, as you might imagine. Yeah. We will look into the future of Luxon earlier, and everything they can buy, to audio, access control, everything to put into and get a complete solution there.
Yeah, because not only the Luxon partners, even the real estate companies also trust Luxon now, and they have offered in their business, which is a huge honor. At the end of the day, we are there to solve your problems and grow your business. So even if you're an investor in this type of segment, you can come talk to me, and then let's discuss one of your projects. This is
something I'm also really proud about. I took it with to show the possibilities within Luxon. This is in cooperation with Norgeshus, the housing manufacturer I just talked about. We have now created an option for together with 2 others, this Flexit, which are doing ventilation and heating and so on, and Greenstat, which is doing solar panels, basically.
Okay.
And together we have developed, you can just put up the next the fact box there. Yeah, together we have developed a predefined solutions that are compatible with all the different houses that Norgeshus is providing, that create nearly a zero energy consume of the house. Yeah, it's really nice, and it's not that expensive either. So of course with Luxon we tie everything together. Greenstat has all, of course, solar panels from before, and Flexit has their energy control and so on. But with Luxon we pull everything together and create synergies, which is doing this much more efficient. And of course the customer will see it, and yeah, it's so greatly tied together. And I'm proud of the cooperation we had with the other companies as well. Usually we are not direct competitors, but we are usually competing about the same amount of money within a building. But still we pull it together. A great solution.
Yeah. So if any of the participants have some Q&As, you can type us and we will look at it and we will respond to you. Of course, moving on to the references worldwide, we have a few things to show from my point. If you want to look at some more projects in Montenegro, we have done this 200 luxury apartments. So we are talking about 800 housing. We have done this kind of projects, and now one of the biggest projects that is going on is Saudi Arabia. So 2,200 student home again. So this is from the King Abdullah University that is ongoing with our partner. So yeah, and then there are some other references. Meanwhile, if you want to know more from the technical point, more from the business point, I'm always available at your dispo. My team is there to support you to grow, like how Henning and Autobolic and Tamalogic is working. You can be the similar in your market. Maybe you are coming from Norway, then you can already collaborate, discuss, or if you're coming from Finland, you have the right references. If you're coming from Sweden, Denmark, or Iceland, please, Luxon is there to support your business. We can solve together this problem. And there are a lot of projects in your market which we can really solve very easily and help you grow. So thank you, guests, for joining us today. And it was a pleasure talking to you, knowing an insider about your projects and your business and your mentality to work with us. And hopefully we will live another long years and make the world green. So thank you, guys. Thank you for joining, and have a nice day, and talk to you also soon. By the way, this video will be available on YouTube. So if you want to watch later, you can subscribe to our channel, Luxon International. And there you can see about our technical facts, about our references, we talk a lot about our configurations, our programming, our planning tools and everything. And also this particular webinar will also be there. So have a look. You can find my contact later, and let's talk soon. Thank you. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.